Okay, welcome to another Ready.News gear review. This time we're looking at an EMP-Safe Communications Kit from TennesseeTacticalSupply.com. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing here. Okay, we're going to crack it open, see what we got. Okay. Alright, well, I don't know if you can tell, but it's packaged pretty well. Plenty of bubble wrap and stuff like that. Let me move the box over here. This right here. And I know Patrick down there pretty well. He's a pretty good guy. Look, he's included actually another one as well. Another case. So we'll crack both of these open. And again, there was plenty of bubble wrap and stuff like that in here. So here is the EMP-Safe can. So if you've already got radio equipment and all you need is a good place to keep it, to shield it from any EMP, RMF, or RF, to keep things safe in the event of an EMP going off or some other solar or cosmic activity which would disrupt normal communications. You can see that they've got here, that's electromagnetic pulse, RF frequency shielded, and of course you pick it up at Tennessee Tactical Supply here. So let's take a look at this can. I'm going to crack her open here. Aha! You know, see, I wondered about that because a lot of people will store stuff in a regular ammo can, but they don't give any thought to actually shielding it from the RF. Now, typically, your ammo cans are going to have a big rubber grommet in here. And of course, you can see this rubber grommet has been replaced with copper wire of pretty good gauge, too. So that's pretty good. And as you can tell here, closely, if I can get it focused here. There we go. You can see that the edge of the can has been stripped of any of the paint that would normally be there. Okay, so you've got a good electrical connection between the lid and the vessel itself, which is going to be essential to protecting your radio equipment from RF or the effects of an EMP. So, wow, kudos to them on that. See, I wonder, because a lot of people will just throw it in a can and call it EMP safe. This one has actually been fitted for the copper wire, which is going to prevent any type of RF from getting in. It grounds the whole thing. Okay, so let's look at one of the kits itself. Take off this copious amounts of bubble wrap here. And let's see what we've got on this. So here's the box here. Another good ammo can, and I'm just going to presume that it is fitted the same way with the copper wire. Let's crack it open and see. Okay, so you can see right here that the paint has been taken from the lip, from the edge, and holy cow, look at that. And so again, you can see down here our copper wire. Let me see if I can focus that. There we go. You can see our copper wire has been fitted all the way around the can. Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff, a ton of stuff in this case here. And let's take a look at what we got. Let me pull this out carefully. Okay, so we've got, it looks like, probably a 2-meter 440 antennas, magnet mounted. And okay, so we've got two antenna setups, which is good because who else are you going to talk to if everything's blown up, right? If nothing else is working, you want to be able to have something maybe to give to somebody else. Now, I've got a set of these. I've got enough, actually, for a few of my neighbors. Should anything happen, solar flare, whatever, and it wipes out communications for a while, I've got a few of these so that I can pass to my neighbors so that we can just keep an eye on things and keep in touch should conventional communications fail. And so I like these little whip antennas. That's pretty cool. We'll get one fired up here in a minute. I just want to pull out everything and see what we got. Okay, so next we got some wires. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Hey, check that out, huh? So what we've got is a way here to use solar power to charge the batteries. So if you're deployed in a field setting or the power's out or something like that, you can use this 12 volt solar panel, 36912. Wow, that's pretty handy actually. I like that. Wasn't expecting that, but I think it's in the kit as far as the advertising and stuff goes. Plenty of connections as far as the radio plugs in, and you could charge any number of things with that four-way there. And of course you got your alligator clips, and then you got this here which will plug into the battery charging unit itself. So that's kind of cool. All right. So let's set that down over here, and let's see what else we have. All right. So we've got our conventional wall wart, which is a charger for the radios. So there's two of those. Let's pull this out. So this is the other half of the charging unit. So you would stick the radio in there, or the battery itself. You can there's a little slot here. I don't know if you can see it here, but you can actually have an extra battery or something, or take the battery out and plug it right in here, and it'll sit by itself without having the radio need to be in there. And that works pretty well. Let's pull that out. So here's the other one. So you've got two full charging sets. Looks like we've got a battery. So I'm going to set this right here for now. And let's see here. We've got the other battery. I'll set that down. And so these are, let's see, 1800 milliamp hours, BL5 7.4 volts, which is the Beifeng standard. And it looks to me like we've got some headsets here. Let me open these up. Yeah, okay. So this unit actually plugs into the radio. So this plugs into the radio where your mic and your speaker jacks are. And then you've got a little push to talk thing here, and this fits over your ear, and of course has the microphone down here as well. So that's kind of handy for those times when you want that hands-free experience. You can use that. Let's see what else we've got in here. These are the little antennas that go with the radio. As you can see, it screws right on there. So just to show you, it's the same thing here. This is the same end here, whether you use the whip antenna, which will give you a lot more distance as far as communicating than this will. This is good for short range, probably quarter, half mile or so, although I have gotten a lot further on mine. It just depends on conditions and how many buildings you have in the area and stuff like that. But these are the little rubber duckies that fit on the radio, and there's two of those. So I'm going to set these aside for a second. Okay, and we have got, this is a UV5R user's manual, and that's presumably what the radio is as well. We'll see in just a second. Dual band transceiver with wideband coverage. So this is a dual band radio, which means that you can operate on 2 meters as well as 70 centimeters. And in both of those cases, there are bands that you can operate on legally without having a ham license. Now, these radios are also capable of transmitting on the ham bands, which means if you did transmit, you would need to get a license to be legal to transmit on the ham bands. Now, you can listen on the ham bands all the time, and there's no problem with that. Let's see. Here's some instructions for the battery charger for the solar panel. Okay, I'm going to set that down next to the manual. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is another headset unit over the ear, so we'll set that aside. And then inside, let's see what we got here. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see what we got here. This looks to be like a little battery compartment or something. Let's see. Okay, so there's 2 AA batteries. This thing, I would imagine that this must go with the solar panel unit, so you can charge like rechargeable AA's. Let's see here, and we've got the radio. I'm just gonna move this. So here's the Beifeng radio, and it is the UV5R, which are handy little things. These are very popular. In fact, our local Red Cross uses these exclusively because they're pretty tough for what they are, and they don't cost a whole lot in case you need to replace one. So if somebody, you give them out to the neighbors and you don't get it back, you can replace these fairly inexpensively. And then the Red Cross uses them, like I say, because they need tons and tons of them. So here's the battery for the radio. I'm not going to put it together just now. I'll do that in another video. And then, of course, there's another radio here. Let me close this. Alright, so we've got, in this EMP-Safe Kit, we've got a very well constructed and well thought out EMP-Safe can. You can see the copper wire in there, and you can see that the paint is all brushed away to make a great electrical contact in this can. And so, like I say, if you want to be doubly safe, you can take cans like this and put them in a 30-gallon or whatever galvanized steel trash can, or maybe a construction job box. I like to nest them just to give several layers of protection, but this should be good all by itself. It's very electrically connected and electrically sealed. And so again, you get the canister, which is an EMP-Safe can. You get 2 sets of the Beifeng UV5R radios, which come with the rubber ducky antennas and 1 battery. You get, of course, the wall wart charging kit. Okay, 1 for each radio. And you also get the headset that goes over the ear, which has a little speaker and a microphone that plugs right into the side of the radio. You get, and this is kind of cool, you get this solar charger so you can keep your batteries charged up when you're not using them. And they also include these external antennas, which is a very thin wire which can be folded. You can see it's very flexible, fits right in the can there. So everything that you need for communications comes in this little can here. And that's something great to throw in the back of the vehicle in case you need to take off, or just to have all the time. I've got one of these Beifeng radios in my car at all times. I don't have an EMP-Safe can in the car, but I'm going to have one now, right? Pretty awesome. So this is a great kit, and it looks to me like they've thought of lots of things that you might need for these Beifeng radios. Good unit, solid performers. I'm going to work on another radio or another video, and we're going to show you how everything works. And so how the radios work, how do they sound, how do they perform, and we'll get into that in just a minute. So I promised you to talk about the operation of the radio a little bit, and you can find out a lot about it in the manual or online, but just a couple of things that you probably didn't recognize these radios have. Let me go ahead and turn it on.
Channel mode.
And sometimes it helps to demonstrate this a little bit in the dark, so I'm going to try and do that. I don't know. So you can see the radio's on right now. And that little blue light, that was a backlight. So one of the things you have is a flashlight. So down here, right below the push to talk button, you've got a flashlight button. So I'm going to push that. As you can see, you can use this as a flashlight to navigate in the dark should you need to, in case your regular flashlight is dead or whatever. You press it again and you've got the flashing light. It's kind of a beacon. And once more to turn it off. Also, besides you can see here you've got the 2-meter bands that you can operate on. You've got the 70 centimeter bands, the 400 megahertz stuff that you can operate on. And also, so right now, it's regular mode right now. I'm going to press it once. You can see that it's FM. There we go. So I've got it tuned into a local station. I'll turn that back off. And if you press and hold it, it goes into the alarm mode. Now, I'm not sure what you would do with that, but it does it. So there you go. I guess if you wanted to just scare people or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, so those are things in the radio that you probably didn't know it had, but it does, and they're kind of handy. One of the great things about the radio, the FM part of the radio, is that when you're listening to the FM part of the radio, if one of the bands right here, if somebody is transmitting on one of those, it'll turn the FM off and switch to this so you can hear the transmission. So if you're using this as a scanner, you know, listening to your local police or fire or EMS or something like that, then when you're enjoying your FM radio, if something happens, it'll break through and you'll be able to hear that instead of the FM radio, which is kind of a good feature. So those are some of the basics. Other than that, you just you program. You know, you've got your keys down there. You program a frequency in, or you can use the computer to program it with a cable, programming cable. Which let's see, I think you would use the Chirp. The Chirp software to program it with. That's the stuff I've had the best with. And of course, you know, you got the button here. You push to talk. You let go to listen. It's a pretty basic operation. The A and the B, that's switching between the upper and the lower. The A and the B frequency as being the main one. So if it's down here and I press push to talk, it would talk on 443. If I pressed it again, I push to talk, it would talk on 146. So that's how that works. But there's a lot of information on the manual and online for these things, so very useful radio. Glad I got it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So I wanted to give the solar charger a test, and I've got to say that I'm impressed with the results. For such a small little panel, which is so easy to hook up, it's only been a couple of hours in what can be described as, I guess, partly cloudy, I guess, skies today. But it's pretty easy to hook up. You just take the leads from the solar panel, hook up that little gizmo to the back of the charger, and then once you do that, there's a little LED light that will start flashing, or depending on, you know, the status of the battery. If there's no radio in there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the LED will flash red and green alternately. And then once a radio is in there or a battery is in there, then it'll charge, provided there's sufficient sun to the panel, it'll start charging, and you'll see a red, very bright red right there. But right now it's not, the clouds are over the sun, so it's kind of dark out, so it's not charging currently. But in the space of a couple of hours when it was mostly sunny, I'll turn it on here so you can see. I don't know if you can see the battery charge there. It's like it only lacks one more bar of being fully charged. Let's see if I can get this here where you can see it. There we go. Yeah, there it is. So you can see there's only one more bar. So with a little bit more sun today, it would have been fully charged probably in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'll see if I can test it again on a more sunny day and update this. Okay, so I just jumped on the highway. Of course, now you know I'm in my truck. And what I've done is I have put the little mobile antenna on top of the truck. And I've pre-programmed some local ham radio frequencies into the radio. And what I'm going to do is try and transmit and hit the repeater, which is about 30 odd miles away right now. So we'll see how good this little antenna performs here. Testing. Okay, so it looks like it hit the repeater. That little beeping sound was just the repeater saying that you have made the repeater. So that's very good. we'll try it maybe on the way back. Try and hit one of the my hometown repeaters when I'm a little bit further away. But for now, that's it. Okay, we're going to test the radio again. Right now I'm about, I don't know, a little over 40 miles, I think, away from the repeater. So I'm going to give it a shot here and see what happens. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. We're still a little bit out. I'm going to try it again in just a minute. And we're about 35 miles out from the repeater, so I'm going to try it again. This is testing, testing. Okay, so you can see that the radio and the little antenna that comes with the kit is effective in my limited test today on the road for about 35-36 miles. I tried it at 50 miles out and couldn't make the trip. Tried it at about 40 miles and couldn't do it. But right at 35 miles, the combination of this radio and the antenna was able to make the trip. Now, I'm pretty sure that the Beifeng UV5R is power selectable. I had it on high power, which I believe is right around 5 watts. You're probably not going to get that kind of result on the 1 watt or the low setting. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to traverse a long distance, even if it's to a repeater, you want to have it probably up there on the high power side. So that works for me. 35 miles, that's a pretty good distance. I know you guys see in the stores these little Cobra handheld radios that say 35 miles. You're not going to get that kind of stuff out of that, but you can with this radio, this communications kit. The antenna that comes with it took me 2 seconds. I slapped it on top of the roof, hooked up the antenna to the radio, and I'm able to converse back and forth over at least 35 miles of varied terrain. So I'm satisfied with that performance. I really didn't expect the antenna to perform that well, but it did. So that's good.